This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, yay. Okay, somebody's got a speaker going, which is totally fine. Welcome, everybody. Y'all, this is our second to last Focus Forward week. Next week, we're going to be doing a recap and celebrations. And so you've got one more week to just finish out any of the assignments and get all of the recognition and celebrations and prizes from your director. So be sure to review that. So you've got your focus workbook, and remember that that second page has the checklist where you can go back and see, is there anything that I didn't quite finish? And for some of you, because we designed this very intentionally to be something that you can work at your pace, for some of you, you may have heard the information, but not really been ready or had the time to implement it. And that's one of the beautiful things about this is you can continue to work through this. All of the classes are recorded. All of the assignments are available to you from your director. And so I really want to make sure that you hear me on this. If you did not do all of the assignments, there is no reason why you can't just continue. Go back to the beginning if you need to, and just fill in at your own pace and work through the steps, because the steps in the assignments are very intentional. They are very helpful. They are teaching you skills. They are helping you to create important skills and systems and things like that that will bring results. This will bring results. And a lot of this, Tanya and I were talking about this before everybody else came on. A lot of what we're talking about, including, especially tonight, these are things that will help you in all areas of your life. I have a lot of friends and customers who have been Mary Kay consultants at one point. They love the products, they love the company, they love the experience, and they love sharing with others how their experience in Mary Kay equipped them for things that are in other areas of their life, starting their own other businesses and things like that. Now, obviously, we want you to stay with us forever, but just know that these are really valuable life skills and business skills and things that you can grow in. And so if you I don't want it to be, okay, after next week, I'm never going to think about this focus series again. I want it to be something that kind of like reading Mary Kay Ash's biography. Every time you read it, you're going to learn something new. You're going to pick up something. It's going to re-energize you and re-excite you and give you more clarification. It's something that also can be used as a tool through the coaching process with your director of looking at your full circle tracking. And maybe your sales are high. Maybe you're great at booking from your bookings, but you're not getting any leads. And so going back and looking at, okay, here's an area that is kind of like, I'm not quite there. And I don't know if it's because I don't understand the value of it, or I don't understand the skill of it, or maybe there's something about it that's in my, kind of caught in my mindset where I'm nervous or scared to do it. And so that's an area that I can go back and I can hone that skill, because it's just like a wagon wheel. Each of these skills that we've taught you, the booking, the coaching, the sharing, the money management, the time management, these are like spokes on a wheel. And when all of those spokes are solid and they are in place, you're going to have a much smoother ride, and you're going to get there faster than without. Okay. And so it really is about working smarter, not harder. So we want to take a minute and give those of you who have been participating a chance to come back and tell us, what were your aha moments last week? Wow. Did Cheryl not do the most amazing job of clarifying what it looks like to have some good money management rhythms and systems in place for your business? So we want you to tell us what was an aha moment during the class? What is something that you implemented this week? What is something that you can encourage other consultants, whether they're here live or consultants that are watching the recordings later, to really take advantage of that specific class? And you could just unmute yourself and share.
Okay, I'll share, but can you not do a close up on me? Because I have a
Oh.
black eye.
Oh my
no.
gosh, I didn't even see it. No, we've got you on gallery right now. I don't know what
you're
Zoom's
okay.
gonna
That's
do.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just
it's
leave your glasses on. Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just had a one-on-one with a garden hoe.
What?
Can you see? Can you see?
Can't see it.
Oh, Kathy.
Okay,
I love
wait.
you.
HOEO. Okay, guys, just we clarify that. A garden tool.
Yeah, no, I got you the first time. Good job.
This. So I have always kept all my receipts. I have, and my accountant said, "Oh, Kathy," she would always say, "Harry, she saved you some money here." I was great at that. But what I didn't realize is, oh, my cell phone. Oh, silly Kathy. And the things that I didn't realize that are write-off. But organizing, because I did this 2 days ago, and I took all my receipts, because I fly whenever I come to Texas. Of course, it's a flight. So I organized it by events also. So every time I come, I have my flights, my hotel, my all my restaurant and all of those receipts all together. And I noticed Tanya doing that the last time, I don't know when it was, but she had this envelope and I could just see her putting everything in her envelope right when we were there. So when she got home, it was all together and she didn't have to go back later and go, "Oh, where is that?" So I told Harry last night, I go, "Babe, this is the best thing I did because everything's there." And using the suggested the paperwork, like all of the sheets she gave us last week, also it's just organization. Because I keep it all, but now it's so organized, I can go anywhere and say, okay, when I was in Albuquerque, I kept everything. So that's a separate folder within my events. So then when I did the thing in Canal Winchester, when I went back to Ohio or Carroll, and I did the whole thing for Inspire, I have all of that in one folder. So a seminar, everything, one folder within the events. So I pull it out, it's all there. So, and as far as my accounts, I did that right away when I signed up. So that's never been a problem. And I will say that I probably don't take money out to pay myself. I keep it all there. And that's just so I never get myself, for me, I can do that. And so I just keep it all there. And then I'm never in trouble when I have to order or whatever. It's right there. And it's also, I can think of it as an investment because no, that's not true. I put money in my savings and keep it there for when things come up and within Mary Kay that I have, that I can do a flight or I can do whatever. But I love last week and I hope everybody did it because for me, a great tool and kind of just a wake up call, like, wow, write off every possible thing you can. And if you get audited, if you have everything organized, then you're fine.
Absolutely.
Right, guys? Right? If you get audited and I have everything and I can support everything that's on paper to my accountant, then I'm fine. So it's all about the potential of getting audited. Well, then no worries because it's all there.
I love it. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, my mom and dad got audited. They have a story about getting audited a long time ago. And she showed up and it was organized. It was in the envelopes and it was everything done. And they basically just kind of took a quick look at it and they could tell that she was on it and like on top of it and had the basics down. And so they actually didn't, they pretty much just ended up releasing her from the audit. Whereas if she had shown up with just boxes of random stuff, they probably would have, really questioned.
Right.
So I love that. Thank you so much, Kathy. Anybody else have anything that you can share about just, even if it's just that tiny tweak of, I kept thinking about setting up my account, but I hadn't yet, but now I'm going to do that, or I did that, or another aha moment that you want to share. Go for it. Yes, Jasmine, I see you. Unmute yourself, friend.
I wanted to say thank you to Kathy. She had hopped off before I was able to say anything last time, but I got to speak with Cheryl. But I wanted to say thank you to Kathy for saying how she was helping with the middle schoolers and all of that with what she did last time with the fundraising and stuff like that. And I want to thank her for reaching out to the younger generation for somebody like me or even younger. I know I started when I was 18, and if my aunt wasn't there to help me with it, I don't think I would have even thought of this. So for Kathy to even put that seed into young women's head right now, I think is a good thing, because it's like, how else are you going to get somebody in the younger generation involved? So I appreciate Kathy for reaching out to younger generations and for getting more women involved. So thank you, Kathy.
So Jasmine, will you be at seminar? Are
I
you
will.
going?
I will.
Okay, we can talk more. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. I love that.
I love it. Thanks, Jasmine. Okay, anybody else have anything you want to share? All right. Well, then we are going to get this party started with, let me go ahead and pin myself real quick. So that, or do I want to I never can remember the difference between pin and spotlight and all the things.
Well, and I do, are we going to recognize homework?
Oh, yes, we do want to do that. Absolutely. Tanya, go for it.
Yeah, so just from the Cheryl Starlets turning in their homework, we have Lana. So thank you, Lana, for turning that in and being consistent. And that is who I have.
Okay, great. And we have Kathy, who showed y'all her homework assignment of getting her receipts in place and doing all of that. So keep it up. Keep up the good work, ladies. And like I said, even if you haven't done it, it's worth doing it now. It's not, it's like when we were younger and we would get a quiz. I love how they do school now. It's very different, because when we were kids, it was like, well, if you missed that homework or you failed that test, you were moving on to the next thing. Nowadays, they actually have you go back, go to some tutoring, come back, take it again. And so having these conversations with my son of like, yeah, because the point is that you are learning it and building on it. And so don't hesitate to go back through these courses. Cindy, I did not get an email from you, sweetie. Sorry. So, okay, y'all, but go ahead and send that in, because you can still get credit with prizes and all that for the end of the month. Unless you sent it like, no, I don't have anything from you. Okay, so now what we want to do, speaking of going back and reviewing, is we talked at the beginning about vision casting and goal setting and getting clarity about your why. And we're actually think of that as like the bookends, because it's so, so important that we are starting with that and we are ending with that. Now, for some of you, you may have started this focus series and a lot of this was brand new information. So you weren't even sure what goal you should set. It's like somebody asking me in, a physics class, if I have questions, I'm like, no, I don't know what's going on enough to ask questions. So maybe you weren't even sure what your goal is, or maybe it's evolved, and hopefully you've gotten more clarification through through these classes. And so we want to revisit what it looks like to set a goal. Mark Victor Hansen said, what kid do you know who didn't have a bazillion things she wanted to do, right? When we grew up, we all had things that we wanted to be, do, have. And I think sometimes that we can let those things go in a way that is not always actually the best thing for us. And so remember that a goal is a specific, measurable end toward which effort is directed. In essence, the process of goal setting is an act of faith that allows your heart and mind to dream. This process is the first step towards transforming a goal into a reality, even before you have taken a single action towards its achievement. And so the process of writing your goals in that fine detail, it really ingrains them into your subconscious. So that's why we always say, write it down. It's so important to journal about your vision and your purpose and your dreams and your goals, because setting goals is a powerful and essential exercise in your personal growth and in planning. You've probably heard it said, everybody ends up somewhere, but only some people end up there on purpose. So my friends, you are going to end up somewhere. Do you want to be in charge of where that somewhere is? Or do you have in the back of your mind kind of like, well, we'll see what happens? Because I have never known anyone who said, I'll just kind of do it the easy way and then see what happens. Now, and have it like, have you get results. Now, I have even personally experienced a time where I said, you know what? I'm going to give it my guts. I'm going to give it my guts for 6 months and see what happens. I'm going to do this business the way that they are telling me to do it. I'm going to believe in this plan, this proved process. I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to believe in other people. And I'm going to give it everything that I've got for 6 months and see what can happen. Now do you hear the difference in that? Do you feel the difference in that? You're either proving it right or you're proving it wrong. So which one do you want to do? You really do get to decide. So we're going to talk a little bit about daring to dream. Really believing in the power of your intention and giving yourself the gift of establishing and writing down your goals. And so I'm going to give you some exercises. Now, some of these some of these questions I'm going to ask next, I actually will be able to share a picture of it. I don't have the document. It's from a workshop that I did a long time ago. So I don't have it in like Word or anything like that, but I do have it in a JPEG. But this exercise will reveal the deep desires you hold in your heart. If goal setting is new to you, schedule an uninterrupted period of time. And before you dive in, create a comfortable environment and use relaxation techniques to quiet your mind and open your heart. So remember, we did talk about this at the beginning of the series. Some of you did it, some of you did not. And so it is so important. We're coming back to this. And even if you already did it, we're going to present you with some different questions to kind of take a different angle at it and get even more clarity around what it looks like to dare to dream. So I'm going to read these questions to you. Feel free to write some of them down, or honestly, what might even be better is to put down your pen and paper and even close your eyes and hear these questions and give yourself a moment. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to give you a long time with each question, but I am going to share these questions with you again. But I just want you to maybe get a sense of which of these questions really trigger something in you, really move your heart. If you're like me, I start to get a little teary-eyed. My nose starts to tingle because I'm getting a little verklempt when I hear that question that moves my soul. Okay. And so I want you to just close your eyes and listen to these questions and know that you're going to be able to go back this week and journal with these. Okay. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What are the things in my life I want to do? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to live? How many homes do I want? Maybe you want a cabin in the mountains and a place on the lake, maybe a little beach house, maybe an extra house that's over where your kids live or your parents live, and you can live there part of the time of the year, or you can even move them into it and help them out and be able to visit them anytime you want. How can I contribute? What do I expect to learn? Who do I want to be around? We've talked about that, right? About being intentional with your circle of influence and the kind of people that you want to be around. And what are you willing to do to be in those kinds of people's space? How much do I expect to earn? So what is your income goal? What will I do for fun? When you have enough income for all of the things that you need, what are the things that you want to do for fun? What else do I dream about? So you're going to make a list of what you want. You're going to imagine that you have it. And now you're going to increase the intensity and duration of that feeling and continue to give what you want your attention. Okay? And so after you've done some dreaming, you're going to be able to think back on your internal dialogue that took place during the process. Okay? So what are some of the thoughts, even just now? When you imagine an outrageous goal, what does the voice in your head say? Is it encouraging or is it doubtful? Does it urge you to dream? Or is it presenting all the reasons you can't reach your goal? If you notice the voice of your inner critic, congratulations, because awareness is the first step in quieting the critic. Your next step is to craft a response to that negative inner voice that will allow you to move on. It may say something like, I know I deserve the best and I expect to have it. Or I hear you and that is no longer my reality. My pastor used to say that when his kids would come and they would like kind of argue back with him or try to give him an excuse, he would say, that's very interesting and completely irrelevant. So even your own inner critic is going to give you information or thoughts that don't actually serve you. You might even ask yourself, is that a fact or a feeling? Or you might be able to say, that was then, this is now. Or you might be able to start saying, I'm willing to make the change necessary to change that reality. Mary Kay would always say, whenever you had a negative thought, you just go like this, cancel, cancel. Mary Kay would always do that. I still can remember seeing her, cancel, cancel. Okay, but one of the best steps is to even realize that that inner critic is chirping at you all the time. Now, I believe that it's two things. Sometimes I believe it truly is the enemy trying to get in your way and put fear and doubt and criticism and shame and things into your heart and mind because he does not want you to succeed. He does not want you to be joyful or impactful. I also believe that part of it is just your brain doing what your brain's job is to do, which is to remember and to protect you. And so maybe you had a parent or a teacher or a sibling or somebody in your life who spoke something into your mind. And that comes back to mind whenever you try to break the cycle. And so the awareness that that thought is coming to you, but that it no longer serves you, is really valuable. So when you hear that inner critic, this isn't about saying, oh, what's wrong with me? Why can I not stop thinking that? What's wrong with my head? Sometimes I even just say, wow, that's interesting. Isn't that funny? My brain's trying to protect me. I don't need that. My husband he's a realist and he's very protective. And so there have been many times where I have looked at him and said, you know what? Reality is a place where other people choose to live. I don't choose to live there. I choose to live in my God-given vision, not my circumstances. I choose to live in the space of what's possible, not what is currently, going on. I'm looking at the future and I'm living in the present and focusing on the future. And so so whatever it is, you can come up with your own mantra. I have had many mantras over the years. It has changed. One year it was, I am willing to be inconvenienced. Another year was never, ever, ever quit. Winston Churchill, right? So what are the things? So looking at that and thinking that is a normal occurrence, that you have doubt, that you have fear, that you have negative thoughts. Okay, that's okay. That's normal. But what are you going to do with that? That's the choice. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to believe it, or are you going to prove it wrong? You're going to move past it. So your 101 goal rush. Before you begin, review these 10 characteristics of goals from Mark Victor Hansen, okay? So here's a checklist to ensure you're using successful framework to set your 101 goals, all right? So this you're going to want to write down, because this I don't have, all right, to review, to give. I can probably take a picture of these pages, but your goals must be yours. It cannot be your spouse's, your child's, your sales directors, your employers, your parents. When you let other people determine your definition of success, you're sabotaging your own future already, because it's not your goal. And there will be times that it is inconvenient. There will be times that it does not go the way you want it to. And if it's not even your goal, then what is going to be the driving force of the commitment to a life-giving, life-fueling, life-changing goal is not going to happen easily, let alone by accident. So it has to be your goal that you are willing to be inconvenienced for, that you want, not what somebody else wants. Okay, so that's the first one. It must be yours. The second one is your goal must mean something to you. Remember, we talked about know your why. So if I have $600 or $1,000, I get a $1,000 bill right here. Okay, it's $1,000. Is that $1,000 bill going to mean to each and every one of you? No. For some people, $1,000 is more money than they've ever seen. For other people, it's not that big of a deal. For some people, $1,000 represents groceries. For somebody, it represents new towels, like really good towels. Remember Oprah Winfrey would always talk about when the first time she actually made a really good paycheck, she went and bought these dream towels that were so soft and the big, extra large sized, and you could wrap yourself in. They're like spa towels. And that was her first big dream purchase. That meant something to her. So what does this goal mean to you? If it's a red jacket, okay, maybe it doesn't even have to do with the red jacket. It has to do with the paycheck, the commission check that comes with the red jacket, because the commission check means what? Or maybe it is the red jacket. To me, I'm not motivated by money. I need it. I want it. But to me, I was motivated by that red jacket because it represented my ability to grow and learn and be successful and be a leader in this business. To me, the red jacket represented so much more. It wasn't, I'm not motivated by the commission check. I love the commission check, and I'm motivated by the freedom that income gets me, but that's not what was on my goal poster. But for some of you, you could not care less about the red jacket. It holds no meaning to you. And it's not right or wrong. But if I tell you, we're going to set the goal of you being a red jacket, and you don't have a personal meaning behind it, then our conversations after that point are going to be pretty worthless. It's got to be about what you want and what it means to you. Your reason for charting a new course of action gives you the drive and energy to get up every morning and to do something towards that goal every morning. The third thing is your goal must be specific and measurable. Vague generalizations and indecisive statements are not good enough. It has to be specific and it has to be measurable. Your goals must be flexible. Okay, now some of you, it's specific, but it's flexible. Yes, it can be both. A flexible plan keeps you from feeling trapped and allows you to create and experience every possible advantage. It's like if you have a plan Okay, let's say, for example, Kathy is doing a lot with Chamber of Commerce. Joyce is doing, the fish bowls, the facial boxes. All right, well, if Kathy is going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting and she's so focused on that Chamber of Commerce meeting that she's at the grocery store getting, because it's like a potluck something. I don't know if they even do that, but I'm just saying, like, she's on her way to do to go to a potluck. So she's at the grocery store and she's so focused on this Chamber of Commerce potluck that when she's standing in line and a woman strikes up a conversation and says, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, where are you going? Oh, Mary Kay, that's so neat. I've never tried Mary Kay." And she's like, "Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm on my way." She's so focused on that specific plan that she's not embracing, like, open to the God opportunities. Or let's say that first plan doesn't quite work out the way or in the time frame. Are you open to bringing other things in? Are you open to getting direction from your directors? Are you open to hearing what's working for other people and new opportunities to get creative and think outside the box? The next thing is your goal must be challenging and exciting. Force yourself to expand your comfort zone and uplift your energy and enthusiasm. That's why it has to mean something to you, because it needs to challenge you and excite you. And that's only going to happen if you have clarity of purpose behind it. If I set a goal for you and it's, I want you to wake up tomorrow morning and brush your teeth and tie your shoelaces, does that expand you? Does that excite you? Is there purpose behind it? No, it's just a thing that you just are going to do because you need to do it. Your goals must be in alignment with your values. This is really important. Do you know your own values and strengths? Pay attention to your intuition, your gut. When you set a goal that contradicts your values, something inside will twinge. You will resist it. So again, it's not about being a red jacket, earning a car, being a sales director. It's about what you attach to that. What meaning do you attach to that? Does it excite you? And how do you have value around that? If there's a part of you that is pushing back on a goal, I think it's really important to have a conversation with someone you trust, like your director. And the people with the best of intentions, they can have a goal to protect you. And so just because they love you and you would trust them with your life doesn't necessarily mean they're the right person for this kind of conversation. Okay. My mom and my husband both are people who are wildly protective of me. So I do actually have to sometimes not have conversations with them. I have to have it with people who think like I think and are not so automatically wired to protect me that they won't challenge me, because I'm a risk taker and things like that. And so it's like, be really strategic about who you have these conversations with. In fact, I have a whole lesson that I talk about being really careful with this, because if you think about it, in like Job is a great example. He has all these well-meaning friends. And if you read Job, it can be very confusing, because he's got these well-meaning friends who quote God's word, quotes their Torah and quotes and tells them this and tells them that. And like, some of what they say is true, and a lot of what they say is actually not true. So Job had to know what to listen to and what not to listen to. And these were not friends who were trying to do harm. They believed what they were saying was right and true, and that they were helping their friend. Okay. Think about Jesus. He called Peter the rock on which my church will be found, right? Or will be built. All right. Shortly thereafter, when the soldiers came to get Jesus in the garden, Peter pulled out he had like a sword or a knife or something. He had something, dagger. And he was like, "You will not take him." And what did Jesus say? He said, "Get behind me, Satan." Okay, was Peter Satan? No. But was Peter wrong about his assumption and his assessment of that moment and God's calling and purpose on the life of Jesus? Yes. So So I think it's important to understand that even the people who love you and are the best intentions, they are not you. And so you, including directors, you have to know your purpose. You have to know your goals. You have to know your core values. And if you don't know what those things are, we can help you to discover that. That's what these processes, the first couple of weeks and now, is to help you to discover that, because it's so important. But no one can do that for you. Only you can do that. You have to partner with the Lord and get quiet and ask yourself the questions in order to get that kind of clarity. Okay. And it's time well invested. And we're going to come back to that a little bit more too. All right. And so so your goals need to be in alignment with what you want and what your values are. Your goals must be well balanced. Be sure to include ideas that will allow you to relax and have fun and joy. You know, you're still, this does not mean, okay, I'm just going to put my family on the back burner for the next year while I reach this goal. Life does
Reagan. Okay, guys, give us
The aliens got her.
I know. I lost her. Let me text her so I can tell her that just in case she's talking on that end. 1 second, guys. Okay, let's give her a second here. Oh, I'm the host now. Hey, everybody. Hi, guys. Wow. Okay. Let's see what she says. Give me a sec. How's the weather today? Just kidding.
Hot.
I have no idea what happened, but it's connecting me again. I'll be back in a second. Okay. All right. So, okay, everybody take a drink
Hi,
of their
Shirley.
water.
We can let our hands rest from writing notes.
I know. Well, wait till I start. You guys are definitely
yeah.
going to be right. Get your hands warmed up, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is all Jesus that did my section. So you're going to want to hear from him.
Well, I've already lost the numbers of where Reagan is. I don't even know what number we're on.
72.
Okay.
6.
That's what it feels like.
Number 6. Goal must be well balanced.
Okay.
And guess what? Shirley is registered for seminar. All right, she's a coming. Oh, she's the host now. Okay. Reagan?
Yes.
Reagan? Are you okay, Reagan?
my internet just like completely died. I'm so sorry.
I told the girls you were on number 72.
I know, right? Yeah. I think we're on number 6.
I told them the aliens came and got you.
So 8 is they must be realistic. Okay, 7 is they must be well balanced. 8 is they must be realistic, be expansive and sensible. Set yourself up for success and consider goals that are achievable and still stretch you. Okay, achievable and still stretch you. 9, your goals must include contribution. Zig Ziglar said it well: secure the success of others, and you will automatically secure your own success. In the process of pursuing your goals, remember to give back and share with others. So Mary Kay would always say, when you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. And isn't it wonderful how Mary Kay was so brilliant to create a marketing plan that actually works that way? It's not just, here's our marketing plan, here's our, pyramid scheme, or here's our multi-level thing, or here's our corporate America thing, where the people at the top, and then you've got all this. It's like she actually created a marketing plan that put money where her mouth was. She she feeds the money back into the sales force. She gives you the earnings in such a beautiful way. And it's such a powerful way that so many people told her this marketing plan would never work because they pay us too much money. They pay us too high of commissions and give us too many, prizes and bonuses and all of the things. And so Mary Kay taught us that when you focus on getting enough other people what they want, you will get what you want. So that means your customer service, as well as, of course, your team building and supporting, and your director, supporting the unit goals. There is excitement in that. Some of you are more motivated and more comfortable telling people, I'm helping my unit reach a big goal. Is there any reason why I couldn't borrow your face for 30 minutes and get your opinion on our product? Right? When we help others get what they want, we get what we want. And then the last one is your goal must be supported. Share your dreams with people who will support and encourage you. They will empower you and hold you accountable. Now, some of you have lots of people in your life that will support you and encourage you. And if you don't, let me just say, sometimes it's just so fun to show up and tell them what you already did. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing, right? You can just show up in that new car. You can just show up as a sales director. They don't even know that they don't even need to know that you had a goal of directorship until they get the invitation to your debut. All right. So include the people in the goal that will support and encourage the goal. And if you have someone in your life that is a naysayer, they don't need to be on the inside of the goal, right? Sometimes it just works better and it's kind of fun to prove them wrong, right? And so that's okay too. So do you hear what I'm saying as far as like just wisdom in who you give your vulnerability to? Vulnerability is really important. Having a sphere of influence is really important. Being intentional and wise about who those people are is equally as important. And so I want to share that because I just kind of feel led that maybe there's someone, and I don't know. I honestly don't. But I just feel like maybe there's someone who's like, I don't even know who I would tell because nobody will believe me or nobody will support me. That's fine. Just book them for a facial. They don't need to know why. They don't need to know what they're doing. Or just don't tell them about it. There's, you can't not tell anybody what you're doing. I've been guilty of that. I was an undercover secret agent in college. I signed my agreement and then didn't tell anybody ever about it because I didn't want to be like judged. I didn't want to be, people to think I was going to be the pushy salesperson. So I was an undercover secret agent. That doesn't really work. Some people need to know what you're doing, but it's okay to guard your heart a little bit and guard your dream. It's okay to protect your dream. Okay. So, now that as you make when you go back with this list, write this down, start each goal with I am or I have. So I am a sales director driving a free Mary Kay career car. I have a new home with lots of space for entertaining or a big garden tub or whatever the case may be. I have sent my kids to college completely debt-free. What are your goals? I am or I have. Make each goal measurable by describing how much and by when. So I am a sales director walking across stage at Leadership Conference 2024. Or maybe even seminar. Some of you, I am a red jacket. I've completed the Court of Sales. What are you going to even do? We still have over a month. So many of you are very close to being goals or be a DIQ. Everybody gets into DIQ in 1 month. Some of them take 5 years to do it, but everybody gets into DIQ in 1 month. So every single one of you could be in DIQ at seminar. Okay. Include as many vivid and colorful details as you can imagine. So going back to that list that we're going to share with you, what do I want? What do I want to have? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to live? Use those descriptive words. I am or I have, how much and by when, and as many vivid details as you can. Okay. So those are some thoughts on how to set your goals. And before I pass this over to Tanya, she's it's gonna talk a little bit about what you can expect once you have set these goals. I do want to share some resources for you. One is one of my absolute favorite books called Visioneering. Visioneering by Andy Stanley. And it says God's Blueprint for Developing and Maintaining Vision. And I've read it a couple of times, probably read it again soon. It's so, so good. It's all about what God says about having a God vision for your life and what you can expect from distraction, fear, challenges, naysayers, all of the things. And what are some of the important steps in living in your vision, not your circumstances? Such a good book. The other one is actually part of your homework. We've got two options. You can do one or you can do both. One is the Strengths Finders. And so this is the Clifton Strengths by Don Clifton. And you want to make sure you can get this on Amazon, and you want to make sure that you get the book that includes the assessment. So how many of you have already done the Strengths Finders assessment? I know many of you have. If you were with us at seminar, when we had our seminar retreat in, what was that, 2021, 2020, whatever year that was. We did that. And so what it does is when you get the book because you can go online and buy the assessment and pay to take the assessment, but for the same price, you can actually get the book that explains the different strengths. And then in the back, it has this that actually you open it up and it gives you the code to go online and take the assessment. So for the same price, you're getting the book and the assessment. Okay. This is so helpful for you to know and for your director to know about you, because there's that quote. I wish I'd written it down. It's one of my favorite Dr. Seuss quotes, but he said that he's like, a fish can spend their entire life trying to fly. Like if you try to tell a fish it's a bird, it spends its entire life wondering why it can't fly. Something like that. So it's all about knowing God created you with your specific and unique gifts and strengths. And I believe that he was just as intentional about the gifts that he didn't give you as he was with the gifts that he did. Because if God had given me the ability to sing beautifully, I would have wanted to be a singer. But that was not the calling that he had on my life. So he did not give me that gift. And so God can give us a lot of gifts and talents, but sometimes we're so busy comparing ourselves to people who have different strengths, and we're trying to reach our goals from the place of how someone else did it that had different giftings and strengths. And so it's like treading mud. Have you ever felt like you are just treading mud? Like you're trying and you're trying and you're trying and you cannot figure out why you're not really getting anywhere? I really believe that is how we feel when we are not living in our vision, but we're living in our circumstances. And also when we are trying to work outside of our calling and our giftings that God gave us. Because when you discover what your strengths are and you find a way to literally work from those strengths, that is where the momentum comes from. That is where the magic comes from. And I will tell you that we have national sales directors, Inner Circle national sales directors, the top of our company with completely different strengths. And when you know what yours are, that also can help us to connect you with maybe some support and training and resources created by someone with your strengths. So like, if I know if you're like, this is my personality, this is how I learn, these are my strengths, I can be like, oh, you need to go on to Mary Kay InTouch and listen to Pam Shaw's trainings. Oh, you need to listen to Cindy Williams. Oh, you'll totally love, whoever. And so we can actually kind of help connect you with people who have maybe more your personality and your strengths, so that when they talk, it just makes sense because you relate to them. And so we would love to do that. So there's a lot of power that comes by knowing your God-given strengths. And then another way that you can kind of get to know yourself a little bit better, or a lot better, is through the Enneagram. Who here has heard of Enneagram? ENNEAGRAM. Enneagram. So we'll share in our Voxer group. I'll share the link of where you can go, but it's My Enneagram Coach. There's multiple places you can go to learn about Enneagram. And there's a couple of different places where you can get a free assessment. I just know off the top of my head that one of them is to go to myenneagramcoach.com. And she has a free assessment. And you can listen. There's some great podcasts on Enneagram. One of them is the Enneagram Coach. Another one is The Road Back to You. This is a book. And Ian Morgan Cron, Cron, and Suzanne Stabile, Stabile. These are Enneagram experts, and they have really good books and really good podcasts. And what this does is it helps you to understand yourself and what is your driving force. So some of the things that I learned about me, it helped me to understand how sometimes when I do something with this intention and this heart space, it is received completely differently than how I intended it. Have you ever had it where someone got really mad at you and you just cannot understand why? That has happened to me where I'm like, I don't understand. Please tell me what I did because I just thought I was helping you. That kind of thing. Well, I'm a 2. I'm a helper. I'm a server. I love to connect and fit and belong and all of these things. But, not everyone in our life is the same. And so what this has done is it has helped me to understand myself, understand how to care for my heart, because what I need is not the same as what someone else needs. And so it's been a really incredible journey of learning myself better so that I can therefore relate to others better. And then it's been fascinating because I had my husband take the quiz, and that was an aha moment. It was like, yep, that's him. And it's really cool because when you figure out it's your number, you're like a 1 through a 9. And they have names. And so when you figure out what you are and you start to read about it, it's like for the first time I felt understood and seen, because no one else in my family is the same number as me. And so to have somebody actually literally speak the truth about who I am and how I think was life-giving. It was huge. And so I really encourage you to do that. So those are the options on your assignments, is to be able to either take the Strength Finders, or you can take the free Enneagram and just do a little research and let your director know what you learned, because that too can really facilitate the coaching relationship that we can have with you, and just increase that self-awareness, because the voice in my head, the inner critic, is different than your inner critic. So if I'm constantly trying to help you from my perspective of what my desire, what drives me, what motivates me, what my inner critic says, it's not going to land in a way that's as helpful to you as if we could come from where you are. And so those are some things that are really helpful. Okay, so with that, I'm going to pass this over to Tanya, who's going to dig in a little bit deeper on what it looks like to what happens now that you've set your goal, what you can expect.
Okay, awesome. Reagan, how much time do I have just so I can be aware of that?
15, 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to go through this kind of quick. I'm sorry if I talk fast, but just know that you can go back and watch the recording with that. So, okay. So let's.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you how much time you needed. I didn't think you were going to need. I'm so sorry. I should have asked you how much time.
I'm a fast talker. I just want you guys to get your pens ready. Okay, guys. So the emotional cycle. Okay. And so a couple disclaimers here. For one, you're going to go through this, whether it is in Mary Kay, your personal life, no matter what you do, at your job, in your marriage, in your personal life, in your relationship, you will always, always, always have an emotional cycle, especially because we are women, okay? And we are feelers. And so this does not just, this is not only for you if you are in Mary Kay, this is in general, like in life, okay? And then I want you guys to also keep in mind that your attitude, your emotions, and your mindset are going to be 99% of the battle in this business. All right, guys. So here we're going to go with the first thing, and I want you guys to write this down. We're going to go by stages, and stage 1 is excitement. So write stage 1, excitement. Because I want you to be able to identify where you're at in this emotional cycle when these stages occur. And so stage 1 is excitement. That's easy, right? You just signed your beauty consultant agreement. You're super pumped. You're like, I can do this. This is something I've been wanting to do. This is like an answer to all my prayers. This is great. I'm going to get to booking. She wants me to do a power start. I got that 30 faces in 30 days. You know, I'm going to get to asking. I'm going to tell everybody what I've done, what I've started. I'm so excited. All the good things, right? And all the good products and all this and all that. So you're just like super pumped. That's stage 1. That's such a beautiful place to be. Okay. All right. Have we all been there? Raise your hand if you've been there. Yeah. Everybody's been there? Okay, great. All right. Stage 2. All right. You got to the booking, the asking, the telling everyone and all that. So now you're on stage 2. Guess what stage 2 is? Frustration. So right. Stage 2, frustration. So what are some of the signs with stage 2? Okay. You're getting postponements. You're getting obstacles. All right, your friends aren't booking with you. Okay. Got some critics that are saying like, oh, I did that before. My aunt used to do that. Oh, I know Tracy from down the street. She used to do that. Doesn't do it no more. Like, right? So all that stuff starts happening and you're like, oh man, you're sitting back. Okay. Word of advice. Don't worry about your critics. Because I'm going to tell you something. Once you prove that critic wrong, guess what? Another one steps up and takes her place. So now you got another critic to deal with, right? Once you deal with that one, guess what? Another one steps up. So my best advice is do not worry about the critics in your life, okay? Now there is, I don't know if you guys have heard the crab story about the bucket of crabs. You have a ton of crabs in the bucket, okay? That's you and all your friends, or your people, or the people you surround yourself with. And all of a sudden somebody plants a dream and a hope, okay, which is God. He plants those dreams and those hopes and those desires. And you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So you start crawling out of that bucket, right? So what do those crabs do? They grab your leg, pull you back in and say, I'm so sorry, where are you going? You have better things to do. You have hopes and dreams and desires. So you want more? No, I'm going to pull you back in with us because we want to stay here where we don't like anybody or anything and we don't want nothing more and we want to settle and this is where we need to be and you need to stay with us. Okay. So are you in that crab bucket? All right. Don't allow others to take you out of your assignment. So what is your assignment and who are you allowing to pull you out of that assignment? And this is where you change the atmosphere and you find new people. So if they are saying no, and I can't, and this and that, and blah, 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 you find new people. Okay. All right. That's how you deal with stage 2 frustration. All right. Stage 3. And remember, you guys can go back and watch this part. Okay. Shock. Stage 3 is shock. So what are some of the signs for that? Oh, they said it would be easy. It's not working. It's not happening. I'm discouraged. You know, this is so discouraging. I don't understand. It's simple. I'm just, come on over and wash your face. It's not that hard. You know, I just need 30 minutes of your time for crying out loud. It's not happening. Okay, so you're discouraged. So what can you do? Because you can't control what others do. So what can you do in this situation? Well, if you focus on your discouragement, it's going to take you down. It will take you down. Discouragement is a giant and it will take you down. When you remain on your failures or what is not going right for you, then you're simply going to stay there and you won't move forward. Now, here is the light to that. God always will present you with an opportunity to move forward after a failure. So you got 20 no's. Well, guess what? Your opportunity is coming right up, because after 20 no's and 20 failures, failing attempts to book, he's got an opportunity that is about to be presented. That is the beauty of failing forward to success. All right, so we've overcame shock. We've identified the signs. Now we know what we're going to do. Stage number 4, denial. All right, so what are some of the signs of this stage? You start to withdraw. You don't even attend your unit gatherings anymore. You're avoiding your director. You don't even go to conferences. You're just negative, you're procrastinating. You've washed your whites 3 times. You're just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go mow the lawn, right? That's stage 4. You're in denial. All right. How are you going to fight that? For one, don't isolate yourself, but insulate yourself with the right people. They say, show me your friends and you will show me your future. So if you are tired, you guys, and you're at this stage, if you're tired, get some rest. Don't quit. Don't procrastinate, because nothing is going to happen until you face that giant. Each of these stages that we're talking about, you guys, are giants. So run towards your challenge, run towards your giant. And think of it this way. Are you embracing the negative, or are you embracing the promise? What has he promised to you? Are you choosing to embrace the negative, or are you choosing to embrace his promise? All right, so that's stage 4, denial. So you know the signs and you know what you need to do, right? Okay, stage 5 is fear. Oh, this is a good one. All right, guys. So what do those signs look like? I can't do this. Maybe it's not for me. It's her fault. She didn't give me the words to book my facial jar, even though she emailed them to me and did a training and she recorded it. It's her fault. She didn't do it. I'm going to blame everybody else. I'm blaming everybody else, because that fear is just like, it's because of that. It's because of her. It's because of him. It's because of my schedule. It's because of my kids. It's because of this. When really fear is taking over, right? You're starting to think like, oh gosh, maybe I can't do this. So I'm going to go ahead and blame my neighbor. It's my neighbor's fault. Okay. I have trained in the past with my unit, but I have talked about things about fear being a venom. Okay. The devil uses fear to get access to our lives. You can get fear anywhere because it's free. But God does not give us a spirit of fear. So if you have the blood of Jesus, you should be bad to the bone, right? There's no fear. Like you are bad to the bone. You have the blood of Jesus in you. That is also going to defeat discouragement. So have confidence, trust in that. And if you do, that's your anti-venom. That is the anti-venom to the venom of fear. That is how you defeat that. So sometimes you just have to do it afraid, you guys. You have to take action towards your fear. You need to move from like a fear-based life to a faith-based life. Now, one thing I always have to remind myself is that the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's his job. That's what he gets paid for. So it is up to us to have no more excuses. It is up to us to own our stuff. It's up to us to rise up. It's up to us to realize that we have a big God that has formed and shaped you. And guess what, guys? God doesn't make junk. He does not make junk. So if you're going to doubt anything, then doubt your doubts and not your beliefs. All right, guys. Okay, so now at this point, okay, you're at stage 5, fear. You're going to go 2 different ways at this point. This is where you kind of get the fork in the road here. So 6, put 6A stage is settle. Now, what are some of the signs to settling? I never wanted my own business anyway. I've always loved my job. You know, I love the fact that I can never take any time off. It's amazing. Just strengthens me, gives me so much joy and hope. I don't even need any dreams. What are dreams for? I mean, dreams are silly. I don't need dreams. Nobody needs it. I don't need more. I don't need this. Okay, guys, let's be realistic, okay? Everyone wants to be next level. Everybody wants to go to the next level. They want to be the next level. Very rarely do I ever hear people saying, I would prefer to settle. I would prefer to settle. Settling sounds amazing. I want to settle. Oh, I love settling. It just makes me oh my gosh, so excited to settle. I love to settle. Do you ever hear anybody say that? I don't ever. Everybody wants to be next level. Okay, so now here's how I want you to look at what next level would mean to you. Don't look at next level as a position, a place, or a promotion. Better yet, look at it as being a better version of yourself. So ask yourself, was I a better version of myself than I was today than I was yesterday? Was I a better person today than I was yesterday? Was I a little bit more focused and determined today than I was yesterday? So getting to the next level is not always going to be about your position. And it's not always going to be about a place or a promotion. It's going to be about, was I better today than I was yesterday? Am I a better version of that? Now, you want to go next level. So instead of looking at it as what is your next level? I want you to look at it as you are next level. So we're going to change that from what is your next level to you are next level. You're too legit. You're too legit to quit. You are next level. You're already there. You're already there. You've got to know your worth. You've got to embrace what God is calling you to. Trust me, guys, if God was done with you, you would not be on this earth anymore. He would have zapped you out of here already. So he's not done with you. Okay, so you cannot let your feelings of rejection and disappointment cause you to settle, but let me warn you, everybody, okay? When it comes to next level, your next level is going to come with a lot of new devils. It just gets more challenging for you. Why? Because you are becoming what God has formed and created you to be. So you are going to get bombarded with a lot more devils as you are heading into that next level, as you're heading into that better version of yourself. You're going to offend someone and he's going to be really upset and he's going to start shooting a bunch of different devils at you. So you need to be prepared for that. You have got to put the armor of God on, and you have to be prepared for what is going to be given to you. It doesn't get easier when you go to the next level. It gets harder. But if you're prepared for that, you'll be like, oh yeah, I totally identify what's happening here. I know exactly what he's doing. I'm prepared for you. Someone told me you were coming. Someone told me you were going to bring your friends. I know what you're doing. I'm not going to fall for it. Okay. So that is what you're going to do. You're either going to settle in 6A or you're going to go to 6B, which is anger. And this is more of like an anger of like, you're not throwing your computer or anything like that, but you're more of like, you're realizing, hey, wait a minute. You know, I am responsible for my own success. I'm responsible for my failures. I'm responsible and I'm recognizing my feelings and what I've been giving into, what venoms have been attacking me, what giants have been stomping on me. Okay, I get it. I understand. I'm recognizing these feelings. And you know what? I'm not going to, no more. That's it. I'm done. I'm no more. I am not going to allow these giants. I'm not going to allow these venoms. I'm not going to allow any of these devils or anything. I'm like, no, there's so much more to me. And I'm not going to allow them to come and kill, steal, and destroy. So you are now realizing that you have a warrior mentality. You don't have a victim mentality. You realize God gave you those dreams and desires and that you do deserve this. You are choosing to run towards your fear, face your giants, and find the anti-venoms for the things that are trying to poison you. So you're either going to be in that stage of settle or you're going to get to that stage of nope, no more. I am taking over. I am taking over this emotional cycle. So you get to your final stage and you recommit. Your final stage is recommitment. This is your last stage, guys. Guess what? You made it through the emotional cycle. Okay. You've made it all the way around and you are at recommitment. You're like, nope, I'm reorganizing my priorities. Where have I been the most vulnerable? I need to do something about it. What can I stop? What can I trim? What are some things I can trim out? What are some things I can say no to? I'm reorganizing my priorities. I'm refocusing. When you do this, you have a clear image that's produced. With no vision, there's no focus, right? So focus is necessary to achieve anything. Your focus will always be challenged. So identify what are the enemies to your focus. Okay, God will bless those who patiently endure it, finish the journey. Here's the thing, you guys, is God wants you to get through the race. It doesn't matter if you're walking it. It doesn't matter if you're running, if you're crawling, but he's not going to give you a ribbon for showing up to one practice or running 2 miles from like a 25K race, or, you know, he's not going to say like, oh, here's your ribbon. You showed up once. You showed up once for me. You showed up once for your purpose. Thank you so much. No. He wants you to finish. And it doesn't matter what that looks like. It doesn't matter if it's one step at a time, 1 foot in front of the other. If you're crawling, if you're running, if you're, you know, sweating, he just wants you to finish. So we talked about facts are not feelings and feelings are not facts. That is something, you guys, that's going to help you through so much in your life, is identifying, is this a feeling or is this a fact? No one wants to book with me. Is that a feeling or is that a fact? Okay, let me pull out my IPA sheet. Is that a feeling or is that a fact? Oh, wow. I don't have very many IPAs on my sheet. That's a fact. That's a fact. I don't have very much IPAs on my sheet. So this, clearly I'm having a very strong feeling that things are not working for me, but it's really a fact because I don't have the action or the work to back up. So great. You know, then you can kind of take that pressure off and say, all right, so that just means I got to get to work. It really has nothing to do with nobody wants to book with me. It actually has to do that I'm not putting the right amount of activity behind what I need to do. If you go off of your feelings for the rest of your life, if you just go off of what you feel, it's going to be a mess. It's just going to be all over the place. Okay. We never do what we feel like doing. Instead, we do what is right. I don't always feel like picking up the phone. I don't always feel like booking. I don't always feel like getting in my skirt or my dress and opening my front door and having someone in my home for almost 2 hours. And I'm talking and I'm doing all this stuff and I'm pouring into myself. I don't always feel like that. I don't always feel like going to bed early. I don't always feel like waking up. I don't always feel like doing the dishes. I don't always feel like doing, like, I don't want to make dinner. Like, I don't always feel like doing it, but I do what is right. It is right. Okay. I do what is godly and what strengthens us. And is it perfect? No. But am I sure striving for him? I absolutely am. And he just strengthens me and molds me along the process because, you know, it's like Play-Doh. I'm not very, it's not a hard sculpture. There's a lot of molding to me that he is doing within the process. And that's why he's asking, Tanya, please endure this for me. And so it is just our job to do it, right? That is what we do. So if you go by feelings, you're going to be lost. It's going to be a mess. Feelings will come and go. So just choose to have the commitment. It's a decision. And allow those feelings to basically just tell your feelings to take a hike sometimes. You know, if you need to fall apart for an hour, 2 hours, but not 5 weeks. Go take a nice hot bubble bath, you know, get your favorite drink, watch your favorite show, but then pull yourself together and tell yourself, like, no more excuses. Okay. What excuses have you been telling yourself for the reasons why you're not doing X, Y, or Z? Okay. So first stage is your excitement. Second is frustration. Third is shock. 4 is denial. 5 is fear. And now here's where it's going to make a big difference. 6A is going to be settle. So you're going to go the settle route, or you're going to go 6B and you're going to go the anger route. And you're just going to finally just get mad and say, like, okay, something's got to change here. And your last one is I'm recommitting, refocusing, getting my priorities in order, getting my feelings in check, starting to look at some facts and not base everything off of feelings. And I do want to tell you guys that once you've made it through the cycle once, congratulations, you've done it, but it's going to come back around again. And it's going to keep coming back around again. So you're going to have to keep reminding yourself, like, this is familiar. I'm in stage 4. Okay, stage 4. What do I got to do? What do I got to do? Oh, okay. Don't isolate yourself. Insulate yourself with others and the right people around you. Got it. Attend my unit meeting. Contact my director. Got it. I'm on track. Here we go. This is how I'm going to fight this. And that is how you're going to get through your emotional, your attitude. The cycle of it is by going through those stages over and over and over again till you master it. And then before you know it, you'll go through the entire emotional cycle in one day. And you're just like, man, I'm good. I'm so good. I woke up excited. Oh, by lunch, I had a ton of fear. By bedtime, I'm recommitted and I have my 6 most important things list and I'm ready to tackle tomorrow again. And you just went through that entire list in one day. And you're just like, man, I'm good. I am good. I have the blood of Jesus. I have the armor of God. I'm facing my giants. I'm kicking them down. I got my anti-venoms. I'm just like shooting like Spider-Man. And you are just attack mode, right? Okay. Now you guys look like you're in the fear stage. You're all in stage 5. I'm seeing it in your eyes here. Look at your notes. Okay. No, just kidding. Okay. So let's go ahead and unspotlight me for the unspotlightness of it.
Okay. You guys can go up in the top right corner and click on gallery view as well so that you can all see each other. I love it. And you're so right, Tanya. I mean, that's what you hear from our leaders is that you just learn how to go through that cycle in like an hour. And some people, it's like when you, and I'm sure every single one of us can look back at a time in our life where we've already gone through that cycle in another area of our lives outside, because we go through these cycles. It's not just in Mary Kay. So not being a Mary Kay does not mean you don't go through these cycles. You definitely go through them. And it's so worth it. And that's where that maturity and wisdom and you build your confidence, not because things stop going wrong, but you build your confidence because you know that things will sometimes go wrong and you will sometimes be tired or frustrated or discouraged. And you just realize that you just are able to acknowledge, oh, it's just part of it. It's like when your baby wakes up in the middle of the night crying, you're not like, you know what, never mind, I quit. It's just the baby's crying. This is part of it. It's not my favorite part. It's just part of it. And it's worth it. Love it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Tanya, do you want me to pull up the image to just do a screen share of the image and then they'll be able to access it also in our document?
Yeah, you can. So we are also going to be, your director will be somehow, shape or form, however she's been doing it, send you the attitude and emotional cycle. So that way, as you are going through things, before you call your director, actually pull this out and take a look and see where you're at. And then when you talk to your director, you can say like, hey, I'm on stage 6 right now. And, I know what I need to do, but I think I just maybe need to hear it from you again, like just to research. Like, I don't need the whole emotional cycle. I'm on stage 6.
Yeah.
Help a sister out. You know what I mean? Identify where you're at, and I encourage you to go back. And if I know it was, probably a lot of writing and I talked fast and stuff, but I encourage you to go back and be like, okay, when I'm in this stage, do bullet points of like, what do I need to do? Okay, got it. And have that handy, have it in your notebook, have it in your date book. You will refer to this more than you think. Okay. More than you think. This is not like, oh, recap once a year. No, have this with you at all times. So this is like your safety net here.
Good thing to have in your brain book. And I always say when I get mad, I get moving, because it typically comes, I really recognize when I'm in the anger stage, probably more than any of the others, because that's when it's like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm mad. Like, I'm mad at the goal now. I'm mad at whether it's I'm mad at whatever. So I always say when I get mad, I get moving. That's when I get that high recommitment level. And Cindy Williams would always say, I will take a recommitted consultant over a brand new consultant any day, because there's a strain and that just means we all get there. Like, we all have that as part of the process. But when you're recommitted, you are now stronger because you're building the muscle of that cycle. You're getting stronger. It's not going to go away, but you're able to stay in those seasons much, much shorter, and acknowledge them. And less frequently. It does become less frequent, but it's always going to happen, because we're human and the people in our lives are human. So we're going to have disappointment and frustration for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, stay on, because we do have some recognition to do still. So Reagan's going to stop the recording and then we are going to restart it.
Yes,
and give some recognition.